How should you prepare for your first wedding as a wedding planner without losing your mind? And what the heck do wedding planners even do in the final week before the wedding? Well, I'm gonna share everything you need to know about prepping for the wedding the week of in this video. Hey there, friend. I'm Candice Coppola, your business BFF. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. It's great to have you. I'm so glad you're here. Today, we are talking about how you can prepare for your very first wedding as a wedding planner. I'm guessing that you're a wedding planner who is in the first few weddings of your career. Congratulations, this is so exciting. And I wanted to create this video because I wanted to help you figure out where you should be focusing your time the week of your couple's weddings. Now, if you're not a new wedding planner and you've been in business for a while, this video is also gonna help you just make sure that you're doing the right things the week of the wedding. The week of the wedding is a lot of fun. It's also a lot of stress. And I know a lot of wedding planners worry about their process. They worry am I doing it right? That's the biggest thing, is most wedding planners are like, am I doing this right? And most of you guys are. You guys are doing things really well. And my hope is that by sharing my process today for the week of the wedding, that you will feel good about your process and maybe take a tip or two that you can implement into your planning process to make it that much better. So that's what we're talking about today. If you are new here, welcome. I'm Candice Coppola. I'm your business BFF. I'm a former wedding planner and designer turned business coach for wedding pros. And I want to invite you to subscribe to my YouTube channel. I upload on Thursdays. And we talk about business, wedding planning, growing your wedding planning business, starting your wedding planning business here on my YouTube channel. I also have a podcast, The Power and Purpose, where I talk about a lot of business strategy for the wedding industry, which you can go and check out. I'm everywhere, girl. Wherever you want me to be, I'm there giving you business advice. I'm literally your business BFF. And I'm so glad you're here. So make sure you hit that subscribe button. And if this video helps you today, do me a favor, give it a thumbs up. I love your thumbs ups. I work so hard on these videos and it makes me so happy. It just makes me so happy. Okay, so let's get into the main topic of the day. What should you be doing the week of the wedding? What are we doing? What are we doing? What is the to-do list the week of the wedding? Well, there are several things that you should be focused on the week of the wedding. And I want to preface this all with, the week of your client's wedding is never about really planning anything. It's always about confirming final details. So as we go through these different steps and touch points that I want you to make sure you're doing, you're never starting something for the first time or even in the middle of planning something. These things are all done. All you're doing is just confirming and making sure all the information is dispersed and it's correct. You're also handling any little things that pop up, which happens the week of the wedding, and finding ways to make adjustments for minor changes and sometimes even major changes that might happen. So the first thing that a wedding planner should be doing in the 10 days, by week I mean 10 days leading up to the wedding, is having a final venue walkthrough and a final meeting with your couple. Now remember, there's a lot going on for your couple the week of their wedding or in those last 7 to 10 days, but we do want to carve out some time to meet them at the venue and do a final walkthrough, inviting any stakeholders who might want to join you for that, the caterer, the DJ, there may be some people who'd like to go to that final walkthrough, but we want to have a last meeting. And this is just to go over everything one final time. It is running through the timeline, running through the details. You may at this meeting also get their decor, like family pictures and place cards and other bits and bobs that they want you to display at their wedding. And you're just making sure that all the details that have been discussed are confirmed. Now, I like to have these meetings before I move on to any other steps, especially finalizing timelines and vendor confirmations and documents, because sometimes there are minor changes. And before I send out a timeline, girl, I have made sure that there are no changes, because I send out the final timeline and that is it. I mean, if something changes, obviously we'll handle it, but we tend to handle it at the wedding. I want to make sure that I am giving everybody firm and final information. So we'll get into that in a second. This is just making sure all your ducks are in a row. And some examples of this could be things that you go over with them in this final meeting are the timeline, confirming where things will take place, identifying any day of decision makers, like who's gonna take the card box at the end of the night, or who has the tips, or who has X, Y, and Z, and especially transportation details. So anything related to transportation. Also decor, just confirming certain decor items and moments during the day and song choices. So we're just confirming. We're not starting this at this hour. It should all be decided and done and dusted. We're just reviewing it one last time. Now, I like to do this in conjunction with the final venue walkthrough. I think just being in the space on the eve of the wedding really, and by eve, I mean like 10 days before, really helps just put everybody in the mood. And you can make sure that the venue you saw last year is still standing and in the same condition, if not better than when you saw it. So it's nice to do it with the couple, but if they can't be there, understandable, it's best that you just go as the planner. And by doing this walkthrough, you can also just make sure there's like no red flags, or, I mean, who knows, maybe they started construction, you didn't realize it. You have now 10 days to make a plan and prepare. So that's why a venue tour is so important. Once you've had this final meeting, I want you to go ahead and then finalize all your documents. And I mean all your documents, okay? Once the final meeting is over, that's it, girl. Like it's go time, it's game time. We have written the playbook and now it's time to play the game, to use a football reference. So it's time to finalize all your documents. And the documents you're gonna finalize are your wedding timeline, your overall timeline for you, your production schedule, your wedding party timelines, and all the info packets that you should be creating for your vendors. So this is the time to finalize everything. It is like it's like the 10 commandments are being written and you are putting this in stone. Very little changes should be happening after this stage. That leads me to confirming your vendors, okay? So you're gonna want to, once all the details have been finalized, you're gonna wanna confirm your vendors. As you start to hand out your info packets to each vendor, confirm the timeline with them, confirm all the details, and make sure they have everything that they need. I like to send these out the week of the wedding. I know that might be like, oh my gosh, that's so close, but I'm gonna be real with you. Vendors in wedding season, they're focused on the weekend before them, not weekend in 4 weeks. They're focused on the job that they're doing this weekend, and that gets all their attention. And so, sure, I mean, you're gonna be discussing things in advance and confirming what they want to eat and confirming their arrival times. All that's been decided. What you're delivering to them are the final details of everything that they should basically know and that you've discussed. And I like to do it on the wedding week because, quite frankly, that's when they have the capacity to focus on it. Anything before, and it can kind of get lost and forgotten. That's just my personal experience. Let me know if you've had a different experience, but that's been my personal experience. Now, let me know if I should create a playbook or something on vendor packets. I think that'd be a great playbook. Let me know in the comments section if you'd like to see me create a resource for that. But your goal with these vendor confirmations is 0 questions on wedding day. None, 0. Everything that they need to know should be in this packet, girl. Everything. That was my goal as a planner. I wanted to make sure that like literally nobody had any questions. And if they did, I could say, did you read the timeline? Just kidding, of course I'd answer their question. So you want to confirm your vendors. The next step on the week of the wedding is to meet with your team. And I think it's important to meet with your team the week of the event, one final time before the event to go over the details. Now, before you meet with your team, you're gonna wanna prepare your wedding day binder. And inside of this, you should have a master timeline for everyone on your team, every single piece of paper that you need, from wedding day documents to contracts to seating charts to the whole 9 yards, every single piece of paper, and all other items that I actually have covered in a YouTube video talking about your wedding day binder, which I will link in the description box below. I'm not cool enough yet to be able to have it pop up here on my feed. I'm getting cool. I'm almost there, but not quite yet. But I'll link to it in the description box below where I go into detail. Please watch that video. But you want to meet with your team. You want to have this binder ready, and then you want to sit down with your team and walk them through everything, their responsibilities, the details of the day. I actually have an amazing playbook in my shop. It's called the Day of Staffing Playbook. And inside of it, I teach you everything about how to conduct this meeting, but also all the different nuances around the day of staff that help you produce your events. How to hire people, where to look, what roles to give them, how to train them. It's a very comprehensive playbook. And quite frankly, I think one of our best. I mean, it's an amazing resource. What I'll do is I'll link to it in the description box below. If you would like to purchase this, it'll help you make sure your day of staff are, bar none, the best. You want to meet with your staff? We call this our pre-wedding huddle. At least that's what we did in my business. And it was to get everybody on the same page. You could do this virtually, you could do this in person, but it's really important that you do it. The next and sort of final step the week of the wedding is rehearsal. And rehearsal is so important. Never skip a rehearsal unless it's absolutely unavoidable. It's one of the most critical pieces because, you know, so much gets even decided at the rehearsal, even though it's all been decided, minor changes might be made. And a rehearsal is more than just like going through the motions of the ceremony. It's where you're gonna get to meet family, parents, introduce yourself, get a general vibe for the day, meet the bridal party, and so much dynamics just happen at the rehearsal that are important to your job as a planner. So during the rehearsal, you're gonna go through things like your ceremony processional, where everyone will stand, where you and someone on your team might be located, like how they can get in touch with you if they need anything, all the logistical things related to the ceremony, but also it's a way for you to talk about other aspects of the day, like when toasts will happen, how transportation will run. So it's a great time to pass out those bridal party timelines and answer any questions that people have. The bridal party is gonna be like, dude, this is the best. The wedding planner is super nice. She's super chill. She made this really easy for us. She even gave us a very simple timeline where we know where we're supposed to be and what we're supposed to be doing. This is the easiest wedding ever. Have you ever been at a bridal party and you're like, well, what's happening? Like, what time is rehearsal? What am I supposed to wear? Where am I supposed to be? I think most of us do so much better when we know what to expect. And that is really what a rehearsal is about. If you want to make your rehearsals the best, and if you want my guidance and you want to steal my rehearsal playbook, I have a rehearsal playbook in my shop. It's everything you need to know about wedding rehearsals, plus scripts that you can use to walk you through how to conduct a rehearsal, like literal scripts you can read, and really anything that might come up during a rehearsal that you can support your clients on, diffuse, make adjustments to the timeline, things like that. So I highly recommend it. I'll link to it in the description box below. Great playbook for you, and you can just steal my process. Now, outside of that, you need to get plenty of rest. You need to drink plenty of water. And you need to do anything related to the decor and making sure everything's all packed up, ready to go. Back in the day, my husband used to pack up my car, girl, the night before she was ready to go. You might want to make yourself some lunch, pack your emergency kit, pack a lunchbox, pack some snacks, make sure you're good to go so that on wedding day you can wake up, do your morning ritual, your morning routine, take some time for yourself before the day gets going and you're off to prepare for the wedding. And that is the first wedding week. That's what's involved in it. I mean, there are many other things like phone calls and questions and things you may be doing, but in a general sense, this is what you should be focused on the week of your clients' weddings, which just goes to show you how much planning and prep goes into this week, because I truly believe the week of the wedding should be one of the easiest weeks for you. Everything should be planned, everything should be prepared, and really it's about game time. Like, we're just waiting. We're on the bench and we're waiting to start the game. We're waiting for the coach to tag us in. That's wedding day. If you would like to steal my wedding day process and you want to go through this in depth, I am going to recommend that you go and check out my wedding week playbook. Of course, I wrote a playbook on this because, hello, I want you to take all my processes. So if you want to see this in a playbook and you want to follow my process step by step and get a lot more resources related to the wedding week, I want you to go grab that in my shop. So there are 3 playbooks based on our conversation today that you can go and grab that will help you grow your wedding planning business and sharpen your skills. All right, friend, good luck on your first wedding. Good luck on your first wedding week. Let me know how it goes. I've linked to a video here that I think you should watch next, and I'll see you in the next video.